In today's Sharp Saturday video, we're going to take a look at a fixed blade knife from one of my favorite knife companies who's probably more well known for their folding knives. I'm talking about Spyderco, and this is the Spyderco Moran drop point. Maybe it's Moran, I'm not sure. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Hey, welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me for another Sharp Saturday video where it's Saturday and we take a look at something sharp. And like I said, today that something sharp is this Spyderco Moran drop point, and Spyderco has not let me down so far on the something sharp part, so we'll see how that goes today. But first, as usual, today's words of wisdom from the Bible. And today's wisdom is from the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 4 in the NLT version. Lazy people want much, but get little. But those who work hard will prosper. So don't be lazy, seems like good advice to me. And, of course, a big thank you to my friends at XS Sights for becoming a channel sponsor. You've heard me say it before, but XS Sights are the only sights I trust my life to on any pistol that I carry for self-defense. And I was a paying customer for XS Sights for literally years before they reached out and asked me if I'd be interested in having them as a channel sponsor. Of course, I said yes because they are absolutely somebody that I trust my life to their products, so I have no problem recommending them or having a relationship with them as a sponsor for the channel. So XS Sights are made in the USA. They are the fastest sights in any light, and I cannot recommend them enough. So let's talk about this knife now. And by the way, it's early in 2026, so I'm trying to make some resolutions. One of my resolutions is to talk a little bit slower on video and not talk so fast and try to rush through things to make sure I get everything in. And if it makes the video a little bit longer, so be it. I think sometimes my brain gets ahead of my mouth and I stumble over my words and I talk too fast. So I'm trying to have a calmer, gentler YouTube channel this year. And there'll probably still be some rambling. I can't really stop that. But anyway, let's take you down to the old stump top now. And we'll talk about the specs of this thing. Get to doing some of that scientific knife stuff. You want to? Okay, well, looks like the squirrels have been feasting on the old stump top here. So, clean up their mess a little bit. Okay, so here is the Spyderco Moran drop point. And this is a kind of a collaboration with the late Bill Moran, who was an icon of American custom knife making and the founder of the American Bladesmith Society. Spyderco was honored to be able to collaborate with him to create two production versions of his signature Featherlight custom design, because this thing is certainly very lightweight. So let's, and it's got his signature kind of etched on, engraved on the back. Let's talk about the specs of this thing now. The overall length of this knife is 8.06 inches, and for those of you still stuck in that old metric system, that is 205 millimeters. It is a drop point style blade with a blade length of 3.92 inches or 100 millimeters. It is 0.118 inches thick at the spine and 3 millimeters. And the edge length is 3.35 inches. Edge length is 3.35 inches or 85 millimeters. The grind on this thing is a full flat grind, so from the spine, it starts tapering down to the final secondary bevel. The steel is VG10, and the handle material is fiberglass reinforced fiberglass reinforced nylon with a craton rubber insert here for grip. So the outer part is fiberglass reinforced nylon, and it's got some inserts on both sides here for grip. The knife weighs just 3 ounces or 85 grams. That is really, really super lightweight. The sheath, it's what they're calling Bolteron. I don't know what that means, but it's some sort of synthetic plastic material. And it's got a very, very positive retention. And then it comes with their multi-position G-clip mount that you can put this thing all sorts of different ways to carry it all kinds of places and all kinds of orientations, whatever your little heart desires. This knife is made in Japan. And the MSRP on this is $173.50. I found this for about $130 at the time of this video on Blade HQ or Amazon or maybe some other places. And there you go. That is the all the specs. Now, you know here at Survival on Purpose, we're all about the science. So to that end, I think it would be a very good thing to do to put this thing through some standard international scientific knife testing, and one of the tests I like to do on every knife is to test the sharpness using the pretty much internationally standard sharpness test, the redneck sharp test. So I think we should do that. Let's get the testing medium out here and see what she does.
Oh my gosh.
When you look at all that horror there, I mean, this sucker is like, man, you know what? I need to just go ahead and shave it all off so I don't look like a goofus. Look at that, man. It's just, wow. Man, you can shave a yak with this thing. Look at that. Wow. Man, oh man. Okay. Look at that. Wow. It's amazing. This sucker is so stinking sharp. Wow. Okay. I got a little carried away there. I'm sorry. I might have to shave my legs in a little while. All right. So I'm going to say this thing passes the redneck sharp test with flying colors. And this is mostly designed as a kind of a very lightweight outdoor skinning utility knife. I don't have anything to skin. Obviously, that's a drop point, makes a very good skinning blade. But I do have something to beat this thing through. I don't really know what the tang shape on this thing is. I'm assuming it's pretty strong. I'm also assuming Spyderco don't make no junk. So got this piece of wood here that's been out here kind of in the weather for, I don't know, several weeks. So nothing fancy, nothing huge, but we're gonna try to split off a little bit of this so as we can do some of them feather carving stuff and just see how it works. And I'll just use my little small baton. I'm trying to get this where you can see it. Can you see it better up here? Okay, yeah, there you go. Here we go. Of course, it did fine. I mean, this is, you know, I don't believe in batoning a knife to try to split big stuff or to build a log cabin. But if you need to make some kindling or you need to get into the interior of some potentially wet wood, I think it's a valuable skill to have. And it's also important, I think, to test your knife at home to make sure it's strong enough to do stuff like that before you take it out in the field and have to do that stuff. So we'll give it one more shot here with the. Try to get a little sharper corner on this thing. All right, try not to split it all out into, there we go. So there's that standardization here in our testing, and I want to try to see how well this thing will help make a fire, because in my opinion, if the chips are down and you are in some kind of intense survival situation, the ability to make a fire could mean the difference between life and death. So for several reasons. So let's just start with this piece right here and see how good of curls we can get off of this thing. And I've got no doubts that it's going to make some serious curls because it is so stinking sharp. I'm trying to go slow here, and I might speed this up in editing so you don't have to watch it. I'm gonna see if I can give you a close-up on this thing. Just take a look at that. I think I kind of call those Shirley Temple curls, which definitely shows my age. So what's next? Well, I just happen to have my second favorite ferrocerium rod here, the ExoTac Fire Rod XL. And if you're wondering what my first favorite ferrocerium rod is, it has a little butane canister attached to it, but we're gonna go with this one and see what we can do. Oh, I almost forgot. How could I forget? Hold on, wait a minute. This is what's left of the fat wood I harvested on camera, I think in 2014. So 11, almost 12 years ago now. Let's see how well this thing scrapes some of that fat wood. Light or not, whatever you want to call it, I call it fat wood. Let's just see. And it is, if you're curious about fat wood, it is pine, typically from a dead tree or from a dead joint where the sap has collected. And this is, you can tell fat wood by, oh man, look at that. Got a little knot there, so let's carve that little knot off. Get some smooth, oh look at it. But man, it is absolutely scraping great, which tells me that either Bill Moran or somebody at Spyderco really has their act together as far as outdoors, because there's no reason really to have a sharp spine on a hunting only knife. But it is very useful for bushcrafting, woodcrafting, whatever terminology you want to use to scrape and do things like that, and to potentially strike a ferro rod with if you don't have a striker and you don't have a different source of ignition. So that's done. Let's see what we can do with the old ferrocerium rod now. You want to? I've got some chatter on this one. I need to do some smoothing on it. Oh, look at that. Man, there we go. When Chuck Norris plays dodgeball, the balls dodge him. Alrighty, so she slices, she dices, she batons, she scrapes, she shaves. She does all that fire prep stuff and regular old knife stuff pretty well. But at the end of the day, is it balanced? Because you know here at Survival on Purpose, we're all about the science. And to that end, we maintain a state-of-the-art, cutting-edge knife testing facility here at our worldwide headquarters. And one of the tests we like to do on all fixed blades is to test the aerodynamic balance using our balance, orientation, and rotation device. So, which is sorely in need of a rejuvenation and an upgrade. Something's been gnawing away on it, but we're gonna endeavor to persevere and see if we can test the balance on this one right now. You want to? And as always, proper scientific methodology is critical. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Should we try again? Whoop. We'll give it one more shot because it's about to get dark. Whoop. It was low but balanced. I'm trying to stay away from the big gouge at the top of the balance, orientation, and rotation device. All right, once more. And we're gonna call it balanced. All righty, well, I'm not surprised that this knife performed as well as it did, or that I like it as much as I do, to be honest with you, because like I said at the beginning of the video, Spyderco is one of my favorite knife companies because they make good knives. Plain and simple, they make good knives. And this is another good one. Very, very lightweight, very high quality. This one's made in Japan, as I said, and it gets the job done, whatever the job is. And this sucker, man, this would be a great EDC fixed blade because literally you won't even know you have it until you need it. So that's the Spyderco Moran, I think I got that right. If I didn't, I apologize to Bill Moran's family. But the Spyderco Moran drop point, Kuma's wigging out over there. And I think it's a very, very, very good knife. And so thanks again to the folks at Spyderco for sending me this so I could test it for you. And thank you, as always, for watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.